In this video, we're going to break down the matrix testing necessary to go from your current matrix, whether that be a linear currently or a traditional, into the model that you've designed or that you're looking at the design in this coursework. Now let's start by taking a quick review of what a linear design is, and we're going to lay it out here in this work order. First, we've created a customer, and this is that laboratory testing environment. This is a safe zone. This makes sure that anything that we're doing here is created in such a way that it is never to get into a customer's hands, never an accident, never put on a work order and accidentally billed to a customer, in other words. We've created a business or a fleet, one of these two options, never an individual. The reason being is that we can simply type matrix testing here in the company name field. No need for a name, address, business phone, any of that information. Just simple. Business fleet, matrix testing, and hit save. Easy enough. Next, we're going to take that to the next level here, and we're going to create this work order with no vehicle, and we're going to take a little bit of time here, and we're going to put a part on here. Now, I've used a generic PART item. You could use simply the letter P if that's easier on your data entry. And we're going to enter it 54 times on this repair order. Now, before I lose you, there is an advantage to this. This is a very, very important step to this whole process. If we don't take this step, it's essentially looking over the ledge and watching folks jump off that ledge into darkness and not understanding where you're going. It's critical that we take this step. We want to know whether or not you're doing something to help your business. If you don't know if you're helping yourself or not, let's assume you're hurting yourself. Let me explain why. We added the item of part on here 54 times because, as we've learned in the coursework, a linear design of our matrix is 54 tiers. Now that's the framework. A traditional matrix is 5 to 8 tiers. And that's the traditional ratchet and wrench that we used, that everybody has seen in one capacity or another in every publication and every website that you've probably Googled. So let's take a look at the behind the scenes view of this. Now, if I go to worksheet and I go to profitability, now I'm going to see where I put in every one of those $1 to $495 examples here. That's why I did 54 PART entries. Now, let's make no mistake, this is homework, but it's well worth every second that it takes. Now, the reality is, before you get started, it doesn't take all that long to add 54 parts onto a ticket. It's going to take you a few minutes, but it's not grueling. And there's some shortcuts that we can take. Once you add 54 parts and you do your entry, now I added $1 to $16 and $1.15 to $495 in $10 increments. But before you do that, let's hold our horses. You are going to enter in your numbers off of your current matrix because we want you to test what your current setup is against this default framework. Let's see if there's any progress that can be made just simply by dropping this one in. And this is the arithmetic. This is the mathematics behind it. This is how you're going to test it. I am often asked, Ben, if I use your example, this framework, what should I expect for a gross profit at the end of the day, at the end of the month? What's it going to get me? Anyone that can answer that question with certainty, you should really, really focus on how they arrived at that question. Ask them. If they give you a number, did they use the swag method, the scientific wild, guess? Or do they have a way to show you on a screen, on a piece of paper, how they arrived at that number? And I'm about to show you now. So I have $1 to $16. I'm going to scroll down. You see $10 increments, right? 115, 125, 35, 55. No smoke and mirrors here, folks. Going all the way down to 495. Very mustardy stuff. Nothing super exciting about this. What's happening is every 1% of gross profit, it's dropping for every $10 in cost that goes up. This is exactly a reproduction of that linear matrix that you saw in the parts matrix section of system settings. We just reproduced it in a work order. Now, what does that mean? That means if we sold one of every one of those, that's going to be $20,234.81 that the customer is going to have to pay. Now, if you ask me, Ben, how much is that going to get me? How much am I going to get in profit? Now, if I go to worksheet, profitability, and I go to that profit graph, and I tell you you're going to make 36% gross profit, don't hang up the phone. Don't turn off this video yet. This is why you do a laboratory test. I'm going to shock you because we don't sell quantity of one of anything. The reality of why this works is because of quantity. So there is no smoke and mirrors. Pay close attention. 36% is not reality. I've created quantity impact as a sub-estimate. No smoke and mirrors. Let me be very, very crystal clear. Detail tab. This is the default pricing matrix. I'm not pulling any punches. I'm going to come down here to the quantity impact tab. I've clicked over. I'm going to go to the summary screen. You see there's different numbers here. I'm going to go to the detail tab. It is still default pricing. I'm going to the summary tab. Let's go back and check the worksheet profitability. I'm going to scroll back up to the top. Everything is the same. I have changed nothing. It is $1 to $16, 115, 125. You see those $10 increments. I'm scrolling. There's no change. The ticket is $105,000 because we don't sell one of anything. I randomly picked some numbers and I just rolled through there. 114, 78, 24, 12, and the expensive stuff. I just left one. I didn't pad the numbers down here on the bottom end, folks. I just left those alone. I picked the high end stuff as the cheap stuff. That's it. Now, when I go to the profitability tab and I pull it up now, there's my math. 36%, that's a frowning face. 52%, that's a smiley face. So there's when somebody asks me, what does your gross profit look like on your matrix? That's what it potentially looks like. Now, I just randomly plugged numbers in. Do we sell those particular numbers guaranteed? No. Nobody can guarantee you any percentages out there. But what I can tell you is that if you sit your current matrix next to my current matrix in all things being equal, a 1 against a 1, the number that you see at the bottom of the screen will not lie. You can see whether yours will outperform mine, or ours, I should say. So if you see what you were doing before and you see what you want to do now, you have the ability to make improvements. Now, as you go through the coursework and you see where you have your current matrix, the reality of running reports that will come through more of the coursework that you're going to go through, you're going to be able to look at linear quantity opportunities. So just as we compared each of the 54 tiers, you'll have the opportunity to say, for example, if I see that one of these levels is performing very well, let's go here and look at quantity. Let's say I sell 450 at this level in a quarter. Let's say it's a few thousand in a year. What if I change that one particular level up 2%, 4% gross profit? Now, that amount of money starts to compound over that period of time. It doesn't raise awareness in the entire sliding scale of that linear matrix, and it generates large sums of profit over time.